Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to do a January planner update today. I only have two planners. I don't know if I'm going to do this every month, but I thought I would just do January and see how you guys like it. So let me know in the comments below if this is the type of thing that you guys like to watch. But if not, then I won't do any more. So I have two planners. They're both from Sterling Ink. They are common planners. So I have the B6 Slim compact version and then a B6 full year. And so this is my main planner. And this one right here is my Japanese planner. So we're going to go through this one first. I showed quite a lot of this in the setup video. So if I do more updates, I'm not going to show the front of this too much because then it's repetitive, but because I haven't shown this since I did my setup, I will show you guys. I put this sticker over here. I just got this from Redbubble. This is just the same, hasn't changed. I added some things here. So in the anime stores, I added a few that are local to me, as in like in my city, London. Added some supermarkets, and I still have to add a few other things here, but this is nice. I really like this page. I believe there are a few additional anime stores. My daughter keeps finding them, so she and her friends really like anime as well. So I have a few more to add to the list. I haven't actually done anything here in the goals page, so I don't know if I'm going to end up filling this out. I feel like it would be beneficial, but I've just been so busy at the beginning of this year, so I haven't been able to do as much studying as I wanted to, and therefore this isn't filled out yet, but I'm still hopeful that I'm still going to be using this for something. So I'm going to leave it for now, and if we get past Q1 and I don't use this, then I will probably just figure something else out. This is my anime tracker. As you can see, this is being filled out, but I only had one day where I was able to watch something with my daughter, and that was Spy Family. I'm going to do a key up here, but I just haven't done it yet. So I chose this color for Spy Family because this is kind of one of the colors in there, like visually, you know, when you see posters and stuff. So that's that. This page here, I decided to use, I sectioned off each week, Monday through Sunday. I don't know what I'm going to use for this side yet. I have no plans for this. And each week, you'll see in the weekly section, I study something different that is Japan or Japanese related. And so I'm just kind of using it as an index. I haven't filled out this one yet, but I have already done this one. I'll just show you guys once we get to that page. So I did the same thing here. I just sectioned off each week. And then this was the December 2024 calendar, as you can probably still see. I'm using it as like a page of Japanese proverbs. And I'm using all of the calendar pages for something similar. Vocab, things like that. This is the only one I've actually filled out for now. But I just decided I was not going to use the monthly section because I barely use it in my main planner anyway. So that's what I'm using this for. And I already went through, you can see this is going to be seasonal customs, January through April. So I'm going to use like two of the columns, which I know it's really hard to see now because I went over this with my white gel pen and just made it slightly more faded. So it's all pretty much the same, and I'll show you an example of a page that I haven't made like lightened yet. So this is an example of a page that I have lightened the lines and the numbers, and this is what they normally look like. Okay, so we come out of the monthly section and we go straight into, oh no, January. I'm using this as an anime, not tracker, but like ratings. So Spy Family, so far I've given it 4 out of 5. We haven't got to season 2 yet, so, but I know already it's definitely at least a 4. So it could be a 5, it could be a 4.5, I don't know. And these are just some other ones that I'm planning to watch soon. And then the weekly section. So this may look really confusing at first glance, but basically the left side normally looks like this. So it's like 6 lines or 6 squares, like height-wise per day. And yes, so it's kind of confusing because you can barely see the days of the week here, but basically every 3 lines of writing is one day. So I skip a line. So I'm writing in Japanese, pretty much just a summary of my day or what was going on in my mind or what actually happened. This is to help with my vocab and my sentence structure. And I skip a line or I skip a square. So basically, I'm writing on the top square and then I skip one and then I go down to the next one. And that's so that I can write very, very tiny in English underneath, like what it actually means. So, for example, this word comes up all the time. Today, or this month, today comes up all the time. Also, everything is written in hiragana or katakana. There is hardly any kanji right now because I don't know any. So, but I can read hiragana and I'm okay with katakana. I actually haven't started learning katakana yet, but I'm just picking it up as I'm writing things. I'm starting to like recognize them. But this is just so that I can actually read things and know how to pronounce them myself. And you'll see in the next week, the word today, actually, I start writing it in kanji because I've written it so much, I know how to pronounce it. So now I need to learn how to write it properly. So that's the left side of the page. It's all the same. On the right side, I have decided to use this for some sort of Japanese like culture, customs, or something that I can learn about Japan or the Japanese customs. So since this was the first week, I decided to learn about the Japanese New Year celebrations and what they do, the foods that they have. And it's very brief. It's just one very small page. So there's not too much that I can fit on here, but then I can just like do this very quickly. It doesn't take up too much time. So I really like how this is working and I've kept this up throughout the month of January. So week 2, as you can see here, I started writing. That's so Monday and Tuesday I wrote today in hiragana, and then on Wednesday I wrote today in the kanji, and then on Thursday I kept up the kanji, but I no longer needed to write underneath that it was today because now I know that. So that's pretty much the process that I'm going through, and yeah, that's just how I'm learning. On this week, I decided to learn about matcha because I started drinking some. I bought a nice powder, and so I have like this thing, the mixing thing, and just like some other foods that you can make using it. And this page is a bit more crinkly because I didn't have the right green. So you can probably tell this is watercolors, not like Tombos or other coloring pens. But yeah, I just wrote about it, and yeah, I really like this page. So again, we have the same. Some weeks I just don't, or some days I just don't have enough to say onto 3 lines. And also I don't want to write too much because then I might not be able to fit it in, and I want to keep it kind of compact. And so here I decided to learn about the Coming of Age Day, which takes place on the second Monday of January every year, which this year happens to fall on Monday the 13th, which is this day right here. So then that's what I learned about this week, and it was really interesting, and I thought it was interesting, you know, and I'm really enjoying learning about things this way. And then on this week, I actually found a shop in a local shopping mall that I go to, and it's a Japanese store. It's British owned. I did check to see if the person, like the CEO, was Japanese, but no, he's actually Chinese. So, but it's a British company. But they have loads and loads of Japanese things. And one of the things that I picked up in that store was one of these cats for my business. And so I decided to learn about the Maneki Neko cat. And this is what I wrote about it. And then the last week in January, I decided to learn about fortune telling. So just the different forms that they use. Obviously, this isn't an extensive list, but I thought the blood type fortune was very interesting. And I just have some vocab here, and we have something very similar to this in Thailand. And it's usually in, it's these sticks in this kind of cylinder with no lid, and you kind of hold it within your hands and you shake it like this, and whichever stick falls out, you go and get the piece of paper for your fortune. So I thought that was interesting. It's very similar to what we have in Thailand. And if you guys didn't know, I'm half Thai and half Italian. So I'm not Japanese, but I just really like the culture and the customs and the language. So that's why I decided to start learning Japanese. I do speak Thai fluently, but I do want to learn Italian. I don't speak Italian fluently or very much at all. But I could probably get by in Italy if I had to, because I'm just so used to hearing it, but I am fluent in Thai. And then we come to the blank pages, and I'm planning to use this just for vocab and other kind of notes and stuff. All I have here right now is just the numbers. So that's it for now. I just haven't had very much time, but I'm planning to dedicate every Friday to studying Japanese or, my other interests. But I think that might have to start in March because I'm just really quite busy with work this month. Okay, so now we have my main planner, and I guess I will show you from the start again, just in case there's anything that is new here. So I made these two pockets using some vellum envelopes that I already had. And then this is I'm using these date stickers from my shop. These are the large ones. And I'm using these in the daily section because the daily section is not dated. So I just have my ink swatches here. I have my goals page here. This is my school dates and events and a few more things I need to fill in. This is kind of a tracker. I actually did drive. What day is today? Today's Friday the 7th. I know. This is very late going up. I did drive on this day, and there's actually a few other things that I need to fill out, but I won't do that right now. I have this blotting paper just in case. As you can see, I didn't do anything in January. I'm just not very good at filling out trackers and things. I showed this in my setup. I haven't done any of this. No, I haven't. It's too cold to go out anywhere, guys. It is freezing. So hopefully, I have the entire year to do this stuff. This is what a monthly section looks like, but I honestly don't use it too much. I use it mostly for the main big checklist, and you can see, didn't get very much done in January. And then we go to the weekly section, and the first week looks like this. I really like how this looks. I think it's very nice, very neat. The things I like in particular would be how I marked in my work with the grey tombos. So it's very easy to track my work hours by doing this. And I think it looks really nice as well. I also like tracking the my mood at the top here. I did this in my Hobonichi a few years ago and I really enjoyed it. And so that is that weekly section. This is week 2. Again, I feel like there's not very much to say really. I watch movies with my boyfriend like on FaceTime. We just put the same movie on and we mute each other just in case we're like a few seconds off. And yeah, that's how we watch movies when we're at a distance. I don't know, not much to say about this that is not filled in. So sometimes I miss them because I obviously don't write in as soon as I swatch it because it's still kind of wet. I'm terrible at taking my vitamins as well, but I put that there just to make myself feel bad. But I do take them from time to time. So my highlight this week was finding the Kenji store. I think we found it on the Friday and we went back on the Sunday because it was just so cute and had so much good food as well, like snacks and things. And then here I started using a washi to mark in my work instead of actually just writing in everything I do and then having to write it in again in the daily section. So as you can see, I did that. And this week, I actually really like how this looks. It's very low maintenance. Also, I put the dates, well, sorry, not the dates, I put the astrological movements at the top as well, because I do follow astrology quite strictly. I used to work as a psychological astrologer. Just fixing things there. And then I also had a bot attack my website on this day, and it's still ongoing, by the way, guys. It's been weeks now and it's still ongoing. So the following week, I have to admit, guys, I didn't plan this week. I did this the following Monday, and I just really wanted to use my kit, because this is what's left from the kit. This is the emote kit that I made, and I just really wanted to use it, and I didn't want to leave any weeks blank, because I know myself, if I leave one blank, I'll leave the next one blank, and then it just snowballs, and then next thing I know, I've gone like several weeks without using the weekly section. So I just went back and used a kit to kind of fill it in and just put like the main things I did. All I did this week literally was just designing, as you can see. There really wasn't too much else to this week. I didn't do the sidebar the way I normally do, and I still kind of like how this turned out. And I feel like using a kit to go back and fill in a section in your planner really works, because there's just like so much deco that you can use just to make it look pretty. So that is the end of February, and then sorry, the end of January, and then we go to the daily section. I haven't filled out the pen pal section yet, but this is January 1st. And so this was the layout that I started with. I did this kind of thick line that took up an entire square. I stamped the date, I stamped the month at the top, I used my sticker, and then I used my Japanese stamps to stamp in the day of the week in Japanese. And then I'm tracking these 3 things in my daily section, because to me they're the most important things. I want to make sure I do them, although I very rarely meditate, as you guys will see. But I used to, and it's a habit that I want to get back into. So I just have my work to do, personal things, and then this is a journaling section. This was the freebie for January, but I didn't have anywhere to stick it in, so I just put it in with some washi. And the layout is pretty much the same going for a few weeks. I started the daily section here using the Carbon Platinum ink. In this pen, the Kaweco Sport Extra Fine nib, and everything was going really well until we get to like mid-January, and I'll show you what happened. But I really like this ink because it's waterproof, and I don't know if you could tell in the weekly section, but I smudge things very easily. My fingers just must have more moisture on them than most people. I don't know, but I got this new Tombow on this day as well, this peacock blue color, so I just drew a peacock. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same kind of layout. Oh, we got this really nice warm bubble tea on this day. Oh, here you can see I went from doing this column, this like filling in the entire column, to just one line, because it was taking away from the journaling section. So I kept the sidebar the same width, but I gave this main section more space. And I prefer this as well, but I kept the top the same. And if I did any of those things, I would check them off. So any ones that are not checked off were days that I didn't do it. But I got warm bubble tea for the first time because my daughter was just like, you got to try it warm. And it was freezing this day. And it was so, so good. And then, is this the day I got my matcha stuff? I think it is. I think this is the day I got my my things, and I started taking matcha. This day I got my daughter a digicam, and it arrived, and I was so jealous. I want one for myself, but I'm glad I held off, because now I'm just like, maybe I don't want one. It was just the novelty of seeing something that was just so nostalgic for me growing up in like the early 2000s. And yeah, I just think it's so cool. So, and then I started doing my writing different in the habit section. So previously it was just like this type of writing, and then I went to more like block capitals here because I think it looks neater. Oh, I tried the oat latte for the first time at Starbucks. with a caramel, and it's so good because normally I have a soy hazelnut latte. So an oat caramel latte was just something a bit different. I was trying to go to, yeah, I walked to the doctor's with my backpack with my laptop in there, and I was hoping to go to the coffee shop on my way back, but it was so crowded that I just couldn't find a seat. So instead I went to a Starbucks, which is not the coffee shop I was trying to go to, and I just got a to-go coffee because that Starbucks is not really a very nice one for sitting and working. This is the day me and my boyfriend watched The Watchers. Highly recommended. It was a really good movie. This is meant to be a donut, but I have no idea why I didn't do the hole. So it just kind of looks like this weird thing. But yeah, this is a really, really good vegan donut from Covent Garden. It's a place called Donut Time, and they're just so, so good. This day we got burgers for some reason. I think it was, yeah, my mom had a craving for burgers. So I looked on Uber, or maybe, yeah, it was Uber Eats, and we just found this place called Rudy's Burger, and we got that. This day so my daughter does ballet, and when she was very young, her very first ever friend was a girl that she met at ballet. And after maybe about 5 years, they had to move back to Brazil because her parents were banking people. That's where they worked, that was their industry, and they moved back to Brazil. And they came to the UK for a few days recently on this day, and we just had to go and meet them, and it was just so much fun just to see them for a couple of hours and have a coffee, and it just felt so surreal, like seeing them so much older now, the kids, because I think they were like 8 and 9 when they moved, and they're now like 15 and 16, so it was just crazy. Oh, I also at some point, yeah, it was here. Instead of writing in my habits and using 3 lines, I just did 3 dots so I know what each one is for. And I also started doing down here like a highlight of the day as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be a good highlight, just like something that happened. Like this one, we got burgers. This one, we met up with our friends. As you can see, not all of the sections are filled in. Oh yeah, I also switched from writing these in English to using my stamps to put them in Japanese. So again, just like work and personal stuff. Talim didn't go to school this day. She had a fever, and I was very happy because I got 4 orders today. So that is the most I think I've ever had in one day at the shop. And then I took her this day. She went into school. I took her to the Hammersmith Bell. I don't know why there's no H in there. And we got some vegan burgers, and it was pretty good. And then this day, is this the Friday? Yes. This is the day we found that Kenji store, and these are some of the washi tapes that I bought from Kenji, the ones that I used in the weekly section. Oh, but this is also the day that I got really frustrated because my ink started to bleed through the paper, which it had never done before. So the paper is just very inconsistent this year. And I think you might be able to see it here. There's like actual bleed through. This isn't ghosting, this is bleed through. So yeah, very upset about the paper. It's hard to tell on this side, but here you can see. Did I keep it up? No, I switched to Diamine Onyx Black here, which I didn't want to because it smudges, as you'll see in the coming pages. So by January 19th, I had to switch to a different ink. And the ink looks nice. I think it actually looks better. My handwriting looks better in this one because I'm someone who usually has small handwriting. So this is actually quite big writing for me. And I feel like this looks so much neater, but like I said, it just smudges. Like I could literally smudge anything from this page right now just from doing this, but I'm not going to. You'll see some authentic smudges coming up. Again, I just don't always have the time to fill everything out. When it's like this, it's because I filled it out the following day, so there's no timestamp. I usually put a timestamp with every journal entry. So, and as you can see, if I do the habit, then I will check them off like this. This day, I have a headache. No bot activity so far today, having a nap, and I guess, oh, I literally just went to sleep for the night that day. It was 5:52 and I did not get out of bed until the next morning. Yeah, so this one's kind of a bit blank as well. Not much to say here. It's just, why was I feeling like this? Oh, I felt really dizzy this day. I have no idea what was going on. I just woke up and the room was spinning. It went away, but it was kind of worrisome. So yeah, this page, I don't know what happened here. I genuinely don't remember. And then this is the new freebie for February that I did. And then this is the end of the month, so pretty boring. I do change things up in February, but I'll show that in the next planner update if I do one of those. But this was a pretty boring month, so I'm really sorry if you guys feel like I wasted your time, but this is the first time I looked back on the month, so I wasn't aware how boring it was going to be. But like, I don't know what to do here. I might draw something just to fill up the space. It kind of bothers me a bit. The blank spaces down here don't bother me too much, but when it's like this, I just feel like I wasted this page. I could have just skipped straight to the 30th, but you know, I try not to predate them too much. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you want me to do one for February as well, or if you just think this is kind of boring. Feel free to let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.